Hello YouTube, welcome back to another video. My name is Toch, and on this channel I make content about my experience throughout the software development industry. It's actually my second video that I'm recording today. It's been a while since I posted any videos on this channel, so I figured I might as well just kill two birds with one stone. Since I already have my setup and everything, I might as well just make two videos. So in this video, I'm going to be going over yet another one of my freelance projects, and this one is actually the biggest contract that I've ever done. So I got in contact with the client when they invited me to the job, because that's one of the features that Upwork has is clients can invite freelancers that they think are competent enough for the given project. So I'm going to quickly read to you both the invite message as well as the job description for this project. They're not too long, shouldn't take too long. So yeah, hello. I'd like to invite you to take a look at the job that I've posted. Please submit a proposal if you're available and interested. I think that's pretty much like the default template that Upwork provides you when you're inviting a freelancer. So nothing special there at all. And then the description goes, we are looking for an experienced app developer, experienced in Ionic 5 and Angular to work on many mobile application projects. And so yeah, when I read the job description, I read the invite, I was like, okay, that sounds just like me. It was like a match made in heaven, because I have a lot of experience working with Angular as well as Ionic. So I quickly applied for the job. So shortly after we sent messages back and forth, we scheduled a time to meet and talk more in depth about the project. And after getting to talk to them, I basically understood that they had already started the Angular/Ionic application, and they were pretty much just looking for someone who had a lot of experience working with Cordova plugins to go ahead and integrate some of the Cordova plugins that they needed for that project. And I think the two main ones were AdMob as well as in-app purchases. And in the end, they also wanted me to go ahead and deploy both versions of the application, the Android and iOS, to the app stores. So the app itself was pretty much an inventory / content management system for a bar in Quebec. And I say content management because the bar owner also wanted to be able to post not just the drinks that he was offering in his bar, but he was also posting videos, like links to YouTube videos of like the process of making the drinks and stuff like that. And so he pretty much just wanted an Android and iOS application where all of these things can be housed in one place and his customers could download it and look through all of the things that he had to offer and all the different content that he was making. It's been so long that I've done one of these videos, and I can't believe that I actually forgot to do the customary proposal reading. Let's rectify that. So I'm going to go ahead and read the proposal that I submitted. Even though I was invited to the job, I decided to submit a proposal just to make sure I communicated my ethos efficiently enough. And also there were some questions which they asked that I responded to as well. So let's get started. So thank you for inviting me to this job. I've been working with Ionic and Angular for over 3 years. I am highly skilled in that tech stack. I've also used Firebase extensively. I can guarantee you that I am a great fit for this job. So I'm guessing they must have listed Firebase as one of the skills, because on each job posting you can add skills to it as well. So they probably did that. That's why I mentioned it. A little bit of info about my history. I've been a software developer since 2015. My experience with software development spans multiple different fields and industries. I develop software as an entrepreneur. I currently serve as the CTO of a young startup called Skiffle and have been doing so for just over 2 years. I have also received web development training under an IT outreach program that Google offers to a select number of individuals called Software Product Sprint. In this program, we learned how to develop full stack web applications and deploy them on the Google Cloud Platform infrastructure. I was able to work under the guidance of Google engineers along with a group of my peers. I also currently work as a software engineer for a research lab called CAT, Center for Advanced Transportation Technology. Through this job, I've been able to deliver products that the company's private and government clients rely on. I'm available to begin working on this project once we have a chat and go over the details in depth. I am available to talk via phone, video call, or message anytime from 10 a.m. EST to 9 p.m. EST. That's pretty much the proposal. Again, it's a bit longer than proposals I write today, just because, like I keep saying, I've since made a video description, which I definitely need to update. I made that video like a year ago. It's kind of old now, but yeah, I highly recommend having a video proposal where you basically just explain, you know, most of your background information, most of the things that I just read in this proposal. Anyway, so some of the questions that they specifically asked for me in this job were, do you have any questions about the job description? And I always find this question funny, especially when the clients don't post very long or very interesting job descriptions, because it's literally just like literally one sentence, right? So my response to that question was just, when do you need me to start? Because like, what else can I say to that, right? And so the next question was, what past project or job have you had that is most like this one? And so I said, the application which I built for my startup Skiffle, and I left a link to the website there. The MVP version was built with Ionic, and then I mentioned that the current version is in React Native. The back end of this project was built with TypeScript, Node.js, and Firebase. It is available on the Android and iOS store, as well as has some content on the web. So basically just answering their question there. Next question was, what questions do you have about the project? This is another funny one that I don't typically like getting from clients, because it's not very different from like, do you have any questions about the job description? They're pretty much the same thing. And these are like the you know, whenever a client doesn't want to go through the effort of like typing out their own questions, they just pick the suggested ones that Upwork gives you. But yeah, it's something you gotta go through, right? Anyways, the last question is, which of the required job skills do you feel you are strongest at? And I pretty much just said Ionic 5, Firebase, Angular, HTML, CSS, TypeScript, basically all of it, which, you know, was the truth. So in total, the project lasted about 3 months. And like I said earlier, this was pretty much the longest and the largest project that I've done to date in terms of both duration and pay. So it was a pretty solid project. And then after the initial part was completed, which is like the initial Android and iOS apps, they also extended the project and wanted me to build an admin panel so that the bartender would be able to like manage the content, both in terms of the drinks and the videos on the Android and iOS apps. But yeah, the project ended successfully. Unfortunately though, they never actually provided me any feedback on the job. Sometimes that'll happen. Clients might do that. I think that's happened to me I'd say at least 3 different times, whereby, you know, I've completed a job and then I've given feedback to the client, because Upwork lets you give feedback to clients, although that doesn't really matter as much as the feedback that a client, or rather that a freelancer has, right? There have been 3 separate clients that, you know, I've asked them, or at least I've mentioned at the end of the project, feel free to leave me an honest review, but they just never went around to do it. That's pretty unfortunate. And one more reason why this was especially unfortunate was because at this time, Upwork, they still had this policy whereby if you had a contract that ended without any feedback, they counted that as negative feedback, which is very counterintuitive. And I'm really glad that they changed that, because like I said, at that point I had just 2 projects that ended without feedback, right? And so my job success score went from 100%, which it was then and is now, to about like 88%. And I so they also have this thing called top rated, which is like a badge that they give to basically acknowledge that you're good at what you do. And so because of that, I lost my top rated status, and it was like a huge just punch to the face, you know. Like it took months, pretty much, like literally months, because like part of the requirement of getting top rated is that you're doing your job well for at least 16 weeks, which is like 4 months, right? So it took months to build up, and just because I had 2 clients that were too lazy to leave me any feedback, I got punished for it. So needless to say, after this happened, I took a long break off of Upwork. I didn't do a freelance contract on there for at least a few months. And really the only reason why, or at least maybe not the only reason, but a big reason why I came back and I've been doing contracts on it most of this year, is because they change that rule of theirs where if a client doesn't leave you feedback, they count it against you. So I saw an email saying, oh, we're changing our policy now, contracts with no feedback don't count against you. And I checked a look at my profile and saw that my job success score was back to 100%, which is, you know, what it was before the whole fiasco. And so I was like, yeah, cool, you know, I might as well make a comeback. And yeah, that's pretty much how that happened. And so while we're on the topic of job success score, just a few comments on what I think about that in general. So I know for a fact that I'm not going to be able to maintain my 100% job success score forever. Maybe I'll maintain it for 20 jobs or maybe 100 jobs or 1,000 jobs. I don't know. But at some point, I'm going to get either a client that doesn't like the work that I did, or maybe there's going to be some situation where I won't be able to hold up my end of the agreement for some reason. Could be maybe lack of competency, or it could just be something that's out of my control. I can't predict the future. So yeah, I don't expect my success score to be 100% forever, but at least it's better for my score to drop for something that I did wrong or I wasn't able to provide than something that's completely out of your control, like a client just not being too lazy or not wanting to leave you feedback, right? That's just ridiculous to be punished for something that's completely out of your control. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this video, and this is definitely the last video that I'm going to record tonight. I know as soon as I'm done with this closing message, I'm just going straight to my bed and just passing out. But anyways, thank you for joining me. If you liked it, hit that thumbs up. If you enjoy this kind of content, hit that subscribe button. I hope you have a wonderful night. I sure know I will, and take it easy.